Well done, my people. How are you doing? Welcome to an episode of TORI NAIJA. My name remains Aroh John Obizoba, aka Oga Johnny. Today we're going to discuss a very interesting issue for today's program. Actually, what we're going to talk about today now, landlord-tenant Palava, waiting a course. You know, a lot of times people will just enter house, you don't know what thing you they enter into. You just know say, this is not my landlord, I be tenant, I go to pay rent of 1 million naira or 200,000. Waiting you need necessary know. You not sabi, you don't know. You go just enter person property, say you be tenant. So this episode now for you, all people, everybody will be landlord and everybody will be tenant. Almost everybody in the way that you talk about. This program is for you today. Listen and learn. See, first of all, waiting be tenancy. Tenancy that when one person they call landlord talk say, oh guy, you be my tenant, come take my property, come take this 1 room, come take these 2 rooms, come take this place for the next maybe 1 year, 6 months or 1 week, and you gonna pay me rent, or you gonna do this particular thing. So far say you do this thing, so far you pay rent. You know, say most times for Nigeria we always think say now only when person pay rent in be tenant. No. If you be say not be rent they pay. If you be saying some other obligation or some other things where they do. And that is enough. That qualifies as what we go call rent. And also one thing you're supposed to know say, are you aware that rent must not be paid in advance? You know say before you move into a house, you go pay 1 year rent, 6 months rent. You know say if you pay rent in arrears, are you aware? I'm sure you didn't know. Nobody don't tell you. But you can pay rent in arrears, yes. It depends on what law, tenancy law is applicable. You can pay rent in arrears, you can pay rent in advance, and rent is not compulsory. Rent is not compulsory. So not the other things that all landlords know that it's not only rent that money that can be paid. Just say for Nigeria, we need the money. So yes, tenancy agreement tenancy now when one person, the landlord, allows the other party who is the tenant exclusive possession. Only you go there for that particular property. Only you stay there. Stay there for the next 1 week, stay there for 6 months, stay there for a year, stay there for 3 months. So first say you pay rent or you do this particular thing or obligation, yes, that at that point a tenancy has come into existence. One problem where they get now, say most people they enter tenancy, they know they do agreements. Even when they do agreement, they not go read down. When landlord give you agreement as tenant, you not go read down. You go just carry you sign through. My advice to you, as a tenant, once you're given an agreement, a tenancy agreement, make sure you get a lawyer to read it for you. No talk say you don't get money. A lot of people go to say, I don't get money to this one, I don't get money to this one. When the matter up, you go talk say you don't know, but cost no go yes say you don't know. That's one thing you should be aware of. And landlord, make sure you have a tenancy agreement with your tenants. I'll give you some things you should know. First of all, are you aware? Like I said before, rent is not compulsory. You know sabi that one. 2, are you aware that rent can be paid in arrears? You don't sabi that one. You don't sabi that now. Are you also aware that if you do not talk, if you're silent about rent, the court will not imply it. The court not gonna help you talk, say, hey, you supposed to pay rent. Now lie, the court not be for that Christmas. In every tenancy agreement, there's certain terms that should be there, compulsory, they supposed there. 1, if you want make a pay rent, you put the term, you put that covenant in your agreement. Landlord, listen to me. This is for you. For all landlords, when you're preparing a tenancy, first of all, make sure you prepare a tenancy agreement that is written. A written tenancy agreement, you prepare it. 2, make sure your lawyers put relevant clauses in it. The first covenant what I got advice you make you put now. Covenant to parent. Rent is very important. The rent, see, it's very important. Very important to pay rent. Or else, baba, the person go live for your house free, you go. Nothing will happen. 2, another covenant is the user covenant. Landlord, tell your lawyer to put this one, user covenant. This is a covenant which expressly states waiting the property go there for, waiting the person go the tenant go use property for. If not, person go tell you say you want come live for your house, you go turn your house to hotel. You go turn your house to club. You go call a child, they make noise saying, I told you this one. Oh, but you not tell them this one. Put it in your agreement, user covenant. And that covenant that is very important is alteration, the covenant against alteration. Alteration. Say, as they come my house, no disfigure my house. Anything you want to, make sure say you tell me. Landlord, they hear this one, very important. And that covenant is the covenant against subletting. But you must make sure that this covenant you're fair in it. This is not covenant say your tenants no go give any other person the property. Except him tell you first. You hear me? Say he don't get the right to just, say most times tenants go actually come house, come pay 200k, then they go let out on that person where they fit collect 220 from. Now you go tell your lawyer make you put up for that covenant. You tell your lawyer to put in your covenant that there should be your agreement that there should be a covenant against subletting. That means no one, it will not sublet or assign or part with your property to another person except with your consent. And trust me, you must not refuse that consent in the case of what? Reasonable and responsible persons. Such consent will be in writing, given to you. If you don't want them, tell us say you don't want making sublet them totally. I understand? But if you want, make sure say you actually would select reasonably persons that would be towards your own interest. This is an advice why they give landlords. Make sure you have a written agreement. Then most landlords don't do this one, covenant to insure. Who go insure the property? Landlords, don't give tenants your property now. If fire burn your house, if fire burn in own apartment, who will repair them? And they ask you, you know great answer. Who go repair them if fire burn them? These are things that should be taken care of. One of the major problems we get for tenancy agreements between landlord and tenant are say, first of all, you don't get any substantial valid agreement where they exist. If they ask you your agreement, you don't get anything to show. Landlords always make sure you have a written agreement. Two, another reason for the problems I say, landlord will just give lawyer, they don't go tell lawyer what they want, they will just leave out the lawyer, make the lawyer do. Yes, the lawyers are professionals, but most times you should make sure that you guide the professionals to do it in a manner which you, the client, wants. We are professionals. Trust me, lawyers will be bad guys. We sabi work. We sabi die. But nevertheless, we need your guidance to tell us what you want. Not the one if I do the agreement for you, you got the power for me, they vex for me when you don't tell me anything. Another problem in tenancy agreements is that the tenants know they ever read the agreement. You don't know, you don't carry sound. Tenants, let me give you an advice. Like I said, once there's a tenancy agreement given to you, make sure you read it. 1. After reading, 2. Make sure you give it to a professional, a lawyer to look at and advise you properly. This is very necessary. Make sure there's a written agreement. Make sure you yourself will read them. Then make sure say you give lawyer we go advise you now. So and make sure that the express covenants there are not adverse to you. Make sure say the landlord no put for the agreement say if gate spoil now you go fix them. If you get money, if you fix them, I'm not saying you should not fix it, but make sure the agreement favors you and is not against you. So landlord, tenant, first of all, make sure that there is an agreement. 2, make sure that, depending on if you're the landlord or the tenant, make sure that the terms there are convenient for you and for your own benefit. Then now, let's talk about a place where most landlords they get them wrong. Landlords, you know there are different kind of tenancies. First, I've talked to both landlords and tenants and everyone out there who wants to know. There are different types of tenancy. You have the yearly tenants. You have the weekly tenancy, you have the monthly tenancy, you have the half-yearly tenancy, you have the quarterly tenancy, you have the tenant at will and tenant at sufferance, depending on which one way you be. Yearly tenant, in they pay yearly, in they pay rent every year. Monthly, now monthly in they pay. Quarterly, now every 3 months. Half-yearly, now 6 months. And depending on the type of the tenancy, it affects the kind of notice you give. Or the kind of notice you're entitled to. Tenant, take note of this. Except in the agreement there's something that alters. Maybe you have an other agreement, say you'll be entitled to maybe 1 month notice or anything. If there's no such agreement like that, if you're a yearly tenant, you're entitled to 6 months notice. If you're a monthly tenant, you're entitled to a month's notice. If you're a weekly tenant, you're entitled to a week's notice. If you're a quarterly tenant, depending on what law is applicable, you're either entitled to a 3-month notice, or a half-yearly, or a 6-month notice. Tenants, take note of this. Then landlords, let this guide you so you can know the kind of notice you give. Then people out there, know this so that you can be able to advise someone out there. So at least before your guy go find lawyer, if you give him those few advice where you don't learn from here, it ain't necessary. Don't be every time when you go they actually they rush with speed go find lawyer. At least before you don't find lawyer, you go know 1 or 2 things you're supposed to do. So I've been talk about something. Landlord they make this mistake. The person the tenants don't do what you're supposed to do, or maybe you get agreement, you don't go against the agreement, or maybe you don't get agreement, you just be say they do what you're supposed to, they make a easy word, they fuck up. You can't say what you go do now to call boys make you beat them out. It's wrong. In law we call that self-help. And make I tell you, if you go court, oh God, courts go waiting for you, but we go call that mpiawazo. Courts go carry you and deal with you well. The court frowns at self-help the same way the law actually frowns at self-help. If you look at the case of Ojukwu versus Ojukwu and military administrator of Lagos State, the court expressly emphasized the fact that the law itself is against self-help. Self-help now when you use your own hand, go to solve the problem. When you're supposed to actually follow the legal way, you don't follow up. Landlord, those of you where they call boys for your tenant, make them beat them, make them panel, beat them, make them slap pepper. It's wrong. Appropriately, the first thing you should do is actually to give what? You give, if you want to evict a tenant, the first thing you do is to give notice. It's to give notice to that tenant. You give notice. Like the first way you go to give notice to her, quick notice. Depending on the kind of tenancy he has, or depending on the overriding provisions of your tenancy agreement. After that, the next thing you do, if the notice don't expire, and make sure you give notice on time. If the lifespan of the notice, if it's 3-month notice, make sure say it go expire. The notice expire before the tenancy expire. If not, you go deceive yourself. You don't give a valid notice. So the first thing first, you give a notice. Then when the notice don't expire, in no commot, you give a 7 days notice of owner's intention to apply to recover. Now, when you don't give them this one has 7 days. Like you don't tell them say, Omo, your notice don't expire. Wait till day now and say, oh, you have 7 days before. If you don't come out after 7 days, I'm going to apply to the courts to remove you. Now, after that 7 days notice of owner's intention to apply to recover premises, no use your own hand. No spoil the whole thing where you don't start. Go to the court. Now you take out, if na Abuja, you take out, if na Northern State, you take out what we call a plaint. If na for the southern part, Lagos State, you take out what we call, you can call it a writ or a claim. But you go to court and file the adequate process, engage a lawyer. See, I get one day why I did court then. One man be actually come make you actually pursue in tenants come up for house. He don't serve notice to quit, but he make mistake. After notice to quit, instead of serving 7 days notice of owner's intention to recover premises, when he go give the tenant again 7 days extra notice. After that, he applied to court. The court told him, Oga, what you have done is not the procedure. So the appropriate thing you should know is, get a lawyer to actually do these things for you. You no go cost. You go talk, say lawyer go take money, you take money, pay your lawyer good money, pay him good money. We lawyers need to chop, pay him good money. You pay your lawyer good money, give him your good instructions, he will do it for you. See, no matter how bad an instruction may be, once you give it to a lawyer, he knows what to do, he knows how to adjust it and make it come true. But when you don't give out money, you go prize your lawyer, you no go give your lawyer, he go do shady work for you now. Pay your lawyer good money, pay us good money, we need money. So, my people, landlord, you don't hear out. You follow the right procedure, the right process. Tenants, once your rent is about to expire, or your rent, you don't say you don't get money to renew the rent, or you get money but the money never reach, move to your landlord and tell your landlord, say, landlord, see, this is not a problem. See, I get 1 or 2 small gigs, 1 or 2 small matter. I beg. This is not when I go pay now. But let me say, tenants, we go to get, most of us, tenant landlord, we get pride. This ego, I be bad guy, you know go do. Matter go sup, your head, you go to catch you. Then after you got to show most they speak English. Tenants, if you know that your rent is not, you don't have the rent to pay, but you know it's coming, you can walk up to your landlord and talk to your landlord. See, a lot of times, most of the landlord-tenant matters are matters that can be resolved with diplomacy, but you just say nobody will agree. Yeah, nobody will agree. And besides, tenants, how you go day a house? The tenancy agreement talk say you go to follow contribute light money, all this water money, water bill and rest, you go dey the house, you no go wan contribute am. But when you enter the house, you go talk say you sign those say you go follow do am o. But you enter the property, you can't change, you can't repent, say you no get money. How? And please, tenants, if you're prospective tenants or intent tenants, cut your coat according to your size. If you know say the wetin you get na money for one room apartment, pay for one room apartment. It's that simple. You get money for one room apartment, you no follow that one. You no get money to live for Lekki, you go collect house for Lekki, borrow money, stay the first year. Next year you no give pay. No, it doesn't make any sense. If your money reach to stay for a solo like me, come there for a solo, make both of us stay, make I dey see you every day, they give you advice. When we get money, we go to Lekki. If you don't get money for Lekki, if you get money for Lekki, you go there for Lekki. But not carry yourself go there for a place where you no fit afford. That's one of the biggest problems. In Igbo we call it anyuku. Big eye. You want to show yourself. So my people there, you still get plenty things to talk. If you drop out for a comment section, if you want to ask questions or if you say you get something where we no talk, you can actually drop out in the comment section and we go talk about it and we go bring up in one way or the other. So my people, that's it on today's episode on Landlord-Tenant Palava. You know, as they be, as usual, we dey always dey ready with hot topic. So all of us wey dey always watch the episode and every time we say thank you to you. And to those of us wey be newcomers to the show, we say welcome and we hope say you go dey enjoy the show as the thing dey go. Abeg, no forget to share, subscribe, like, continue spreading the gospel, make we dey grow and make we dey learn. And don't forget, if you feel say you get anything wey we no dey do right, you fit drop am make we know say okay, this na wetin we no dey do right and make we adjust. It's all for the best and it's all to grow. See you on the next episode where we'll be talking about something hot, but I never want to tell you. You know now, as we do. Alright, I'll see you on the next episode. I remain your host, Aroh John Obizoba, aka Oga Johnny. Till we'll get to see you on the next episode. Ciao. You all.